Bead Company, and I'm going to be showing you and showing off a new product today. This is the 2-hold leaf, or the LeafDuo. So the LeafDuo, when you're looking at it, is a 2-hold leaf, and it's really cool because you can kind of anchor it and work with it. I'm going to be doing this Garland bracelet with the 2-hold, the LeafDuo, as well as our RounTrio and some drops. If you do want to hang out and copy along and watch, you can get your materials from us at PotomacBeads.com. We'll put a little link below the video where the date stamp is, that the date of publish is. Below that, there's a little down arrow or a show more tab. You can press on that and you can get links to all of the different materials that are used in this fun Garland bracelet. So it's a great time of year to get these 2-hold leaves, and I'll be using the teal luster, the white teal luster, and then the white blue luster. And these two colors combined are going to make it look a little bit more natural, so I'll be using both of those. Along the middle for my berries of my garland, I am using the Lava Red RounTrios. So you can use faceted RounTrios if you want. I'm going with smooth RounTrios so they look a little bit like berries. To accentuate them even more, along the sides of the Garland bracelet are some teardrop beads. And these are the Miyuki teardrop in the check coating of the Magic Wine. You really can use any seed bead in place here. I just liked how the drop kind of stuck out a little bit. In addition to that, I'm going to be adding some seed beads along the side and then downgrading from 11 O's to 15 O's down the middle because I think it'll look nicer. Down the middle and along the sides here, I am using the metallic green iris in the 15O seed bead, which is a Miyuki brand seed bead. I do have little tiny red beads here. You can use all one color. I'm going to be dropping in that Duracoat Maroon in the 15O next to my teardrops as I work along the bracelet. The whole thing is going to be done with 2 needles, which is going to make it really easy to put our clasp on. For the clasp, I want something that is easy to take on and off, so I'm using a cup button, and this is the Ruby Picasso cup button. So it's that nice red and has that kind of Picasso-y look, which grabs a little bit of that green, so I thought that would look nice. The whole thing is going to be strung on some .006 wildfire beading thread. Because we're doing leaves, I'm going with green. It is a 2-needle project. So it's based on a herringbone stitch, but to get the pattern, we do need 2 needles. I like to have handy when I'm working with thread and needles, my thread zap or my thread burner to burn down the edges. I also like to have a needle nose pliers or a flat nose pliers to pinch down the edges, which are going to make it much easier for you to thread that needle. You can use a size 10 or a size 12 needle. That is up to you as you're working with, because most of the beads you're only going through one time. To get started, we are going to be starting at the very end, and we're going to start with our button. I want about 5 feet of beading thread on the button, and we're going to be doing basically our first basic row, which is, if I flip the bracelet over, we're going to be going right along the back, adding in and doing that herringbone stitch. To get started, I want to have a pile of my leaves, my RounTrios, and my green color of my 15O seed beads ready. Get about 5 feet of thread with 1 needle on either end of that thread. So we're going to get started again with the base of the bracelet, which is going to be our leaves and our RounTrios. I am going to start with my cup button. Because it is 2 needles, it's going to be really easy to put the cup button on to begin with. To do so, I'm also going to take 1 of my teardrops. On your needle, right or left, it doesn't matter, I want to put 1 15, 1 drop, and another 15. I'm going to face the cup button so that it's dome side down, 1 needle going through one hole and 1 needle going through the other hole. So they're both coming out the back there. Push that down towards the bottom of your thread and make sure your thread is equal along the back. Coming out to the end here then, we're going to get started with the leaf design, and to do so I want to add 4 of my 15s on each needle. And let that drop down next to my button. Here the threads are going to stay kind of separated because what we're going to do is actually go in and start our leaf design. So for the leaves, you can face them kind of whichever way you want, but whichever way you do face them, you're going to want to be consistent. I'm going to face them facing out in the arched method. Also, as I do this and get them ready and kind of set up, I'll start, because I'm two different colors, with my pattern of which way I'm going to pick them up and in what color zone. So I don't want both colors really of that lighter blue to kind of sit next to one another. The first thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my round or my leaves here, and we're going to go into the first hole of the leaves with both the right needle and the left needle. Next, I'm going to pick up a round trio. So that's going to go through there. Round trio. We're going to go through one needle from right to left and the other needle from left to right, going through the same hole of the round trio. Giving a nice tight pull. I again want to make sure that my threads are equal on each side. From here, we're actually going to go into the project back through the baseline and then going back through here along the side and adding the seed beads in. So to do the herringbone, the needle that is currently on the right is going to go down the right. I should have also mentioned with the round trio, you want to make sure to go through that first hole of the round trio rather than one of the middle holes. So you want to make sure that you're going through one of those first holes. When you're on the side of the leaf then, and again, I'm coming down and I'm going to go down through that same hole. So basically the threads crisscross through the leaves and through the trios. You can see that nice little effect happening. It's almost like angel wings. So there's another idea for you. You could make this into little angel wings. Along the side, I am going to decorate with the seed beads. I didn't on the example piece, but I am here. 4 seed beads go on, and your needle is going to go from one hole of the LeafDuo to the other hole of the LeafDuo. Give a nice tight pull. Whatever happens on the right-hand side is also going to happen on the left. Generally speaking, when I do items with 2 needles, that is the occurrence. So we're going through the bottom hole there and progressing into the top. At this point, because it's the first one, you can see there's extra thread showing. I want to make sure to pull all that extra thread and to get all the extra thread out of the way and not being exposed. From here, we're going to continue on with our pattern. So again, we're going to go through that first hole, add our round trio, go crisscross through the round trio, back down through the first hole, and then up. So I'm going to do it here with the left-hand needle first. I'm going to pick up my LeafDuo, and I'm going to pick up my round trio. Again, through one of those outer holes. Let that needle hang out, pick up the needle on the other side. Again, go up through that first hole, through that same hole of the round trio, which again is going to crisscross through the round trio. So you can see that second leaf is in place. Now it may seem weird that we didn't go through the round trio again. Don't worry, never fear. We will do that as we come back down and add our little teardrops along the top. Again, you're going to go back through the leaf then. Grab your 4 seed beads and step up to that second hole. Same thing on this one. Pull nice and tight because you don't want any extra thread exposed. The needle now that's coming out on the left-hand side of that trio is going to drop down the leaf. So it's coming out the initial hole right where you went in. Pick up those 4 seed beads and then go back up through that second hole of the leaf. Give a nice tight pull and almost pop those round trios as you're working with them towards the top because they are going to sit above on the top a little bit. It is dimensional. So again, I have my next leaves in place. I'm going to go up through the leaf on each side. So starting with my right side this time, going up through that base leaf, grabbing a round trio and going through one of the outer holes. Letting that hang out there, grabbing the next needle, grabbing the next leaf, going up through it, and I have my leaves kind of pointing down as I'm working with them. Go through that round trio, same hole, opposite direction. Nice tight yank. Down that same leaf now with the opposite needle. Trying not to get it mixed in. 4 seed beads go on and up through the outer hole. Nice tight pull. Flip needles or flip hands. Again, after you come out of the trio, going down that leaf, out the bottom. 4 seed beads go on to decorate the side. If you want to, you don't have to. You can see with the green thread, you really don't see it along the outer edge, so you don't have to put that on, that's up to you. Go then back up through the leaf. Give it a nice tight pull. With that 2 needle herringbone, you always want to make sure to give tight pulls so you don't see any extra thread showing. And there I go. And I'm going to continue on with the garland, adding in my extra beads along with the round trio and continuing on along that nice garland line. After you're finished with your desired length of your garland bracelet, it is time to make the loop for the clasp. So the loop for the clasp is going to sit on the opposite side of the cup button. To get there, you are going to use 10 of your 15-0s here. And you're going to do 10 on both the right needle and the left needle. Once I have those 10 beads, I'm going to make my loop. So it's up to you. The bracelet is very green. It's up to you whether or not you want to make the loop out of the green or if you want to make the loop out of the red seed beads. If you want to make them out of the red, you can go ahead and pour out some red. That's what I am going to do. And you're going to get about 35 seed beads onto your thread. If you happen to have an 8/0 sitting by, you can start with an 8/0 and take both threads through the needle. If not, you can do the same thing with a 15/0. So both needles are going through that bead in the same direction. That's going to create that little V. From here, starting with 1 needle at a time, pick up those 30 or so 15/0 seed beads to make your loop. Once you have them picked up, you're going to take this needle that's in your hand and go back down that 8/0 seed bead. With the other needle then we'll go ahead and reinforce the loop. And that will give us 2 strands of thread through, which is always a good thing whenever you have the clasp. I always like to try to get at least 2 strands through the actual clasp section, so that way if one thread does happen to snap, you have the other one. So again, I have those beads on, the thread and needle that's in my hand. I'm going to go back through that bead there. And now with the other side, I'm going to reinforce this loop. So I'm going to take the other needle now and just go up through that entire thing. And then as I come down the side, we're going to get ready to add our teardrops. Reinforce the bracelet a little bit. And we're going to go through the opposite hole, the 3rd hole of our round trio bead, catching on then down the center of our trios. So we're actually going to be down our base and we're just going in then to the trios. Down on those seed beads again, and both strands then out through that 8-0 bead. Again, you can have it going through an 11-0 or a 15-0 as well. All right, so we got that nice V shape in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread and needle back through 5 of the beads on each side. So one thread and needle are going to come back through 5 of those 15s and then out. And then on the other side, same thing, back through 5 on the opposite side and out. Give a nice tight pull so you don't have any extra showing thread. And at this point you are done with your specialty beads. From here, I'm going to add in 2 15s and go through that first hole, which is going to be the outermost hole of that open first round trio. Again on the other side, because we mimic each other, 2 15s through that same hole and out. Now what we're going to do is come down the bracelet and we're going to catch on to that 15-0, or I'm sorry, to the round trio. To the round trio on the sides here, when we're coming out the first most hole, we are going to add a 15. You can do it in your red or green color, it's up to you. A teardrop and then a 15. So I've got my 15, my drop, and my 15. I'm going to go from the first hole of the round trio to the third hole, which is going to be the hole right near that LeafDuo. I'm skipping the middle hole and I'm never going to go through the middle hole of that round trio. With the other needle, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. 15, drop, 15, crisscrossing through that same third hole, coming out after the trio. Give a nice tight pull, and now we're going to come down the center line, going from that round trio first hole that we're going to catch on to the outer hole. Along the side to get from one trio to the other, that's where I'm going back with those 15-0 seed beads. I'm going to end up putting in 6 15-0s on the needle and then crisscrossing through that first trio. 15-0s, we're just going to sit in a little loop connecting from one to the other. Again, other needle, 15-0s go on, connecting from one trio to the other, crisscrossing through the first hole. After you're done crisscrossing through the first hole, you're going to add a 15, a drop, a 15, and go from the rightmost hole of the round trio to the leftmost hole, coming out near the leaf. That's going to also pull those round trios really to the top of the bracelet, again for that 3-dimensional beading. That, I think, is the best thing about the multi-hold beads, are that you get that nice dimensional beading with very, very little effort. So you don't have to do much to get that 2 or 3-dimensional look. Again, going through then, I put the teardrop on either side, give a nice tight little yank, and then on to the next. So go ahead and add your 5 or 6 15-0s, skip to the next trio, and proceed down the middle of your fun garland bracelet. So as I come to the end here, I am going to add in 7 of my 15-0s on each needle after coming out of my last round trio. And I'm going to link on then to the 4 beads that sit right above that cut button. So again, I'll get those 7 beads on the left needle now. Go up through those beads on the same side that the needle is. And then we're going to go up through the needle so you can see it kind of completes that look. And then one of the needles I'm going to keep to the back there. The other one I'm going to reinforce. Going up through the back of the needle, up through the beads at the top, down through at the bottom, and then ta-da! All I have to do is knot off this entire cut button. So I'm knotting off the thread. You can use a little thread zap if you want in place here. You can use some super glue glue if you're a person that likes to sew back into your bead, work, you can also sew back into the beadwork and cut off the needles and thread back further. I'm just going to go in here and take my burner and burn down the extra. And then burn those threads down flush next to the back of the button where I'm not going to see it. There you have your fun garland bracelet completed. Again, if you need any of the materials, especially some of these fun new LeafDuo. Again, if you need any of these materials to do this fun little garland bracelet, you can go back to the beginning of the video where I list off the products. Underneath the video to that little show more button, you can do that as well. As always, you can shop with me at PotomacBeads.com. You can check us out online, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also stay connected with us on our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. There's a wonderful interactive group of people there that love to help answer questions. We show kind of the latest and greatest. We take polls, and really it's a wonderful interactive beading group where you can get some real inspiration and see some amazing designs by amazing people. As always, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to get regular updates as well. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Happy holidays and have fun making the garland bracelet.